You guys know Gibson's been synonymous with owning and shaping and creating sound for 125 years. Happy birthday to Gibson, 125 years, right? But when you think about the generations and genres of music, there's certain intersections that took place in Gibson's history, in our iconic, historic past. And one of those intersections we kind of call it the golden years, and that's when a number of amazing Gibson guitars were created, shaped, and the sounds connected. But to be really, really fair, it's not about Gibson, it's about the artists like the future artists, and it's also about the artists of the past that turned Gibson into what it is today, to be real. And there was one intersection point that came together that really truly was the birth of rock and roll. And you know who he was? He was a guy named Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Well, we're more than honored today to represent the spirit of Chuck Berry and everything he brought to rock and roll. He was a Gibson fanatic for real. And we need to figure out how to keep that going for the next few generations. And what better way to do that than to introduce the legitimate, true generation of Chuck Berry, his son Charles, and his grandson Charlie. They're here today not only to represent everything, but we got to announce the tribute to one of the greatest rock and rollers of all time, the starting point of rock and roll. Gibson came together with the family for the first time, and this is his guitar that we're announcing right here, right now at NAMM. Open it up, Charles, turn it around, let everybody check it out. This is the 350T. Come on out and tell us what's going on. Charles Berry.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Well, as JC said, my dad was a Gibson player pretty much his entire career, from 1955 until his death in 2017. That man had a Gibson of some sort in his hands for the 7,000 concerts that he's done over his lifetime. Gibson chased after him for a long time, but he said no thanks. And there's a new, there's a new team on board, and they presented something that's like, okay, this may as well be the Godfather. We couldn't refuse it. So what I'm looking at here is something that I used to see as a little boy in my house. I mean, this is as accurate as it gets in regards to something my father put his hands on and wrote Maybelline and played all those songs in the early 50s, late 50s and early 60s and on, until he transitioned to the 335, 45, 55. We want to thank Gibson for doing it right.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. They really actually nailed it. And if you look at the detail on this thing, it's absolutely fabulous. I'm a fanatic for flame tops. I didn't know that they were going to do this flame top, but that's what he had. I mean, they went way above Call of Duty on this. I mean, seriously, this is a real player. This is no joke. This is the real thing. I would curse, but I'm not going to do that. But it's the real thing, man. It really is. It really, really is. You like that? Me too. I think we should test it out. My son will lead us on. Whoa, 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 whoa. See?
Awesome, gentlemen. Thank you. Hey, if you guys like what you heard, there's a little more action going on up at Gibson in about 10 minutes. Got a few more guests joining, and there might be a few other special songs that we might get into. So you're welcome, media, to join us upstairs. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. 207 upstairs. Let's hear it one more time for the Chuck Berry family. Thanks for coming out, Charles, Charlie, Jared, James Nichols back here. And we'll see you guys upstairs. Thanks.
All right.